Today I'm going to be talking about dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates belong to a certain group of algae which are known for their toxic capabilities. However, all dinoflagellates are algae. Algae are a member of the protists. The protists are basically single-celled organisms which have both benefits and non-benefits for the planet. Today I'm going to be talking about the algae ones called dinoflagellates. Dinoflagellates belong to a group of organisms called the pyrophycophyta, which literally means fire algae. Many of these algae have been implicated in very large red tide episodes, and during a red tide episode you have many problems such as poison shellfish. Now the poison shellfish are not so bad by themselves, but when the people eat the shellfish they are susceptible to many types of diseases, two of which include paralytic shellfish poisoning and another one called amnesic shellfish poisoning. Let me show you what algae look like, especially dinoflagellates. This here is a very good book called Plankton, Wonders of the Drifting World. Here we see some scanning electron micrographs of a dinoflagellate over here, and on this side we see other types of dinoflagellates, and in the next page we see even another type called Serratium. Now these are very interesting organisms, and I should point out that they also serve as a food source, but as I mentioned earlier, they are involved in toxic production, which means they produce poisons. Now, dinoflagellates are very important for this reason, in that we believe that they encyst themselves, and then once they encyst themselves, they begin to settle down at the bottom, and then when conditions are right, they will multiply into these tremendous blooms. And of course you don't want these in the blooms, especially if they're toxic. But I want to point out that not all of these are toxic. We have some non-toxic ones, especially in freshwater environments. One in particular is called Peridinium westi, and that is located on the Sea of Galilee. Every April there's a tremendous bloom. In fact, I was there once during a bloom, and if I took 1 cubic meter of this water, you would have over 1.5 pounds of these dinoflagellates in 1 cubic meter. Now that would be a tremendous number, considering each one is about 52 micrometers in diameter. And a micrometer is 1/1,000,000th of a meter. So we need lots and lots of these to make a pound, you can imagine. So anyway, so it was incumbent on me today to speak about these dinoflagellates. I will speak more about them at a later date, but I feel that everyone should at least know about them for the two major reasons. Number one, they produce toxins, which of course is not good, and number two, they also photosynthesize, which is good because that means they make oxygen for the planet. Now one more thing before I close, I just want to mention that it is believed that 40% of all the oxygen on the planet comes from the oceans, and the things that make the oxygen are dinoflagellates, such as what I spoke to you about, and other members of the algae kingdom, which include yellow-brown algae, golden algae, seaweeds, and the green algae.